Remind is a communication platform that helps every student succeed. It's a messaging service for teachers, administrators, and coaches to send out group text messages. What makes Remind so popular is that it sends out mass text messages to groups with complete privacy. All the phone numbers are disguised, so teachers can send out mass messages without compromising their personal information. Remind is simply for the sender to get quick information straight to the receiver's phones. Text messaging has become the primary mode of communication for most parents and students, as it's a quicker form of communication than email. Teachers love Remind because it helps communicate faster, allows you to reach everyone you need to reach, and allows you to be heard. The values that Remind covet are to be teacher-obsessed by partnering with teachers and working hard to earn their trust, finding a way by taking ownership and focusing on impact, and creating simplicity for others by making things useful and easy to understand. Today, Remind is used in over 90% of U.S. school districts, and there have been over 8.8 billion messages delivered. Two brothers from Chicago, Brett and David Koff, created Remind to tackle what they saw as one of the key problems in primary education: the lack of simple, user-friendly tools that help teachers better communicate with students and parents. Brett Koff was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder and dyslexia as a child, and credits past teachers and his brother David for setting up a system where school faculty can remind him of an upcoming test. This played a large role in his success in school. In 2009, the two decided to make a system into a company, and in 2011 became part of the first class of the Imagine K-12 incubator, where all startups must focus on improving education. The two brothers incorporated feedback from hundreds of teachers who they interviewed to develop a platform that would work for them. The founders describe themselves as teacher-obsessed and focus on building the product for teachers. In the first 3 weeks after its launch in 2011, Remind was used by over 1,500 teachers and 15,000 students and parents, sending over 130,000 messages. The brothers want their company to provide value and help people. They say that the best way to improve education system is to help create and build relationships between teachers, students, and parents. They think that education as a whole is incredibly primitive. The physical infrastructure of the school hasn't changed very much, and how they transfer information hasn't changed very much either. From written permission slips to school intercom systems, education-related communication hasn't changed for decades. Through its mobile app, Remind enables teachers to send one-way messages about field trips, homework, school closures, and other kinds of logistical or motivational messages. Teachers may already use email or social networking tools like Edmodo to communicate with parents or students, but Remind gives teachers an easy way to broadcast messages to a group of parents or students at once. And it includes extra features to promote safety. iKeepSafe has certified Remind's practices for the protection and privacy of student information. What makes Remind even better? It's completely free. As the service is free to use, the cost of text messages and the hosting of the platform is entirely paid for from funding. In Series A funding, Remind raised $3.5 million from social capital and private investors. In Series B funding, Remind raised $15 million from Kleiner, Perkins, Caulfield buyers, social capital, first-round capital, and private investors. In Series C funding, Remind raised $40 million from first-round capital, Kleiner, Perkins, Caulfield buyers, and social capital to become educators' top messaging app. The total capital raised to date is $59 million. With this money, Brett Koff says the funding will be used for international growth, first in the UK and elsewhere in Europe, as well as technology, community, and support improvements. Koff says that Remind has 350,000 new users signing up per day and is connecting to 1 million teachers with 17 million students and parents for what is essentially an operating system for education. Most recently, the company is taking a slight turn to monetization as it unveils activities, a feature designed to let teachers collect payments from parents or school activities like field trips, uniforms, and so forth. As co-founder Brett Koff explains, most schools still rely on cash and envelopes to collect money for an average of 12 activities per year. This method is wildly unorganized, so activities will let teachers create an activity, set a price, then notify parents so they can RSVP with payment and any other required forms. The monetization element will come in the form of a 5% service paid by the parent. After credit card processing fees, this will leave Remind with about 2.5% per transaction in revenue. So what makes this better than PayPal or Venmo or any other established payment provider? Mainly the fact that so many parents and teachers already use Remind on a daily basis to communicate. It would be hard to convert an entire classroom of parents to a new service like Venmo. But if you're already using Remind to check your child's homework, why not just ask them to quickly enter their credit card? Although this monetization isn't the traditional sense of offering a new paid tier of service, it could still provide a steady stream of revenue for the startup, especially if parents and teachers become dependent on using activities to eliminate cash from the equation. Remind continues to receive and seek funding from investors. With new funding, Koff says the company is focusing on hiring more engineers and boosting teacher support. The brothers think that there is no better feeling than being a part of a community that helps teachers, students, and parent relationships. Remind is exactly what many educators have been waiting for, allowing you to have quick, easy, convenient, and free contact with your students and parents whenever you want.